All right, we're doing this again. Yep, another whack-a Hovind. We actually popped in a slight bit on this one last night while it was live. Started with some audio issues. Probably will continue to have audio issues. I think audio comes in, then goes back out at a point. So that should be fun. But like I said, we stopped in on it, and it was pretty unhinged. And actually, while we were seeing it last night, left a little comment in the chat saying, "Wow, this is unhinged," and someone's like, "He's just reading off what the book says," and it's like, yeah, but let's think about it. Why is Kent reading the kinds of things he does? Like, no one ever takes a step back and is like, why does this man read these relatively controversial things? Does he have to poison the well that badly to try to make his argument seem good? But, you know, I literally haven't even started the video. I just started streaming and we're already getting into analyzing things. So might as well tap the magic button here and then tap the magic button again that makes things bigger that Kent's tech crew can't seem to figure out. There's the button. Come on. According to evolution, things get better over time. Hold on. Bear with me. I love technology just being garbage and restream kind of. God damn it. Y'all realize what just happened, right? I'm using Restream. Kent uses Restream. We both have the same background. I mistook the background in his stream as mine because I remembered to click the full screen button. See, check this out. If I click this, or let me toggle a few options here. Toggle it here, toggle it there, toggle it everywhere. Let me minimize this, redo that. You get this weird effect going on. And so what you end up getting is like if I was Kent right here, right? Let's just switch this thing. God, I really hope at some point I can get enough money to actually be able to just pay for freaking StreamYard or set up something better for myself. This stream is a train wreck already. Oh, geez, right. Y'all know where I'm going with this. If Kent would just actually click the right button and maximize stuff, it'd be fine, or Kent's crew would, but they don't because they can't. So he's sitting here in windowed mode. I have derailed the entire stream before it even starts. Right? Let me toggle picture in picture. There we go. And we're just going to get to it. It's going to be silent anyway. Audio's up. He's got nothing. Because his crew is incompetent at Dinosaur Adventureland. There's my chat. Yes, embiggen it. That is the goal. Guten Tag. uh, the crew is starting early. Oh, there he is doing his atheist logic thing again. Can't making the same joke all the time. Only way to go now is up. Yeah, exactly. Kent using the same stupid jokes day in, day out is. It's just. Come on, Kent. Come on. I mean, if I had audio to react to with his stupid voice and stuff, it'd be a different story, but we're in silent mode here. Actually, before he pops up out of nowhere, I was actually inquiring ChatGPT. He's gonna pop up here in just a sec, audio wise, about how he cuts off articles and sometimes prepositions in his statement. Yeah, you can't hear him because his stream doesn't have audio. That's why you can't hear him, Marty. He has no audio. But I looked, I inquired about the thing with him dropping parts of speech. I'm gonna pause right here and actually say that. Um, And the AI was suggesting, anytime you search on this stuff, it ends up being ESL stuff, English as second language, because people who come from different languages that don't really have that same equivalent language structure will tend to drop stuff, which is a whole other world. Um, I I inquired though about it being a native English speaker from North Illinois, and it's like, well, there's no particular accents that really should do that. And I forget exactly what I said. No, I know what it is. I was asking it about the idea of him. He'll drop articles and things. So he'd be like, "I was teacher, I was lifeguard," instead of "I was a teacher, I was a lifeguard," which is really weird. And then when I specify to the AI that he'll drop prepositions, like he'll say something needs fixed instead of needs to be fixed, that's when AI's routines, did their thing. And it's like, oh, that could be this particular accent, Pittsburgh or Pennsylvania, Ohio region kind of thing. And I'm like, well, in theory, Kent's parents could have been from that kind of area, and that might have been where he picked up talking like that. Like, I know it seems weird to focus on, but the way Kent speaks is so weird to me. And I know I have an odd way of speaking too, but I can try to explain that. Kent thinks he talks normally, because everything about Kent is not just normal, but superior. But we're going to hear his voice again here in a moment. Yeah, I mean,
and sweetly while
there
he
he
whacks
is.
down in Christian love. I enjoy it. Okay.
There he is. He loves whacking sweetly in Christian love. He's not going to be getting any more whacking for a while with Sandra gone. um, tech people just, yeah. Or exactly, or needs whacked, not needs to be whacked. Exactly, that weird phenomena of just cutting off those sections of speech. Just really, really weird. And I mean, the same phenomena happens. This here, who gets whacked first, really technically should be who gets to be whacked first. But that's more generally accepted than, other stuff. But, you know, Kent is just uneducated. Thank you, Claude. That's a point I always seem to forget. Okay, let's turn this stream into a success.
Okay. So many atheists, so little time. Tonight, the winner is Alex O'Connor. He did a video here. It's 46 minutes long. On somebody did something about all the arguments against atheism and for atheism, and he was going to answer him. He claims he's an atheist, I guess. Okay. He said one of the arguments.
Why don't you actually look up people that you're doing stuff on, Kent? I know enough about you to be able to critique you and what you do and what you have to say. Not in a super detailed way sometimes, but I know my enemy. Why can't you? You don't know anything about anyone you are up against. You have to make up shit. It's really pathetic when you think about it.
Is that some people say people do evil in the name of religion. Most murderous people in history were non-religious.
Oh no, here we go. How Godwin's law is going to be broken before the 3-minute mark.
Well, and he goes on to say, how about Adolf Hitler had God be with us on the belt buckles of all.
Yeah, Gott mit uns. It was there. You can't just ignore that, Kent. Religion's been pretty prominent in people of all types. It may not have been an explicit catalyst for a lot of things, but this perpetual war that people like you have, the war tactic of you've got to equate every single, you know, genocidal maniac in history to atheism, to basic science is insane. It's like a textbook poisoning the well. Because even if they were motivated by whatever interpretations they had of this stuff, it would have no relevance on the validity of the actual scientific concepts that you're against or the ideas of rejecting the deity. If you want to just blame atheism as a construct, that does go twofold in that one can't explicitly state that, religion is purely a cause for people to have done things. However, when it is cited as such, it creates kind of a tough case to defend against. But that's weeds I don't feel like getting into. We've been there enough.
all of his soldiers. So I thought I'd just refresh your memory, Alex, or bring it to your attention. Let me go to slide number Alt-DV 168. This is part of what's on my seminar part 5, if you want a whole lot more, the dangers of evolution.
Can you see where I got the thumbnail from? Yamato, being thrifty and get off from work. Get off. Get home from work. Quickly make a thumbnail. Plan a stream. Then make it a train wreck from the get-go.
Evolution theory. It's not just stupid, it's dangerous. We teach the kids they're an animal and wonder, why are they acting like animals? Get DVD number 5 by itself or get the whole series for 50 bucks, 18 hours if you want. Jesus, the devil, in Genesis chapter 3, Satan said to Eve in the garden, God does know.
It was not Satan. It was just a serpent. It was just a snake. You guys love to twist stuff around and make it into the Satan character, and it wasn't. That simple.
No, in the day ye eat thereof, your eyes shall be opened, and ye shall be as gods. You get to be.
And even if it was that character, they weren't really lying. The one that lied is Magic Sky Daddy, Kent. Y'all love to just step over that. No, we're just gonna ignore that he outright lied here. But, you've got your apologetics when pressed to the issue, so you've always got an excuse for everything.
Be God. And this is what Eve fell for, because Satan's the one who wants to be God. I cover in my video 5, evolution is dangerous because it's based on lies alone. There is no evidence for evolution, no scientific evidence.
There's nothing but evidence for evolution, and all of it is science, Kent. Shut your whore mouth.
All lies. Watch my video number 4 for more on that. It removes all morality. I keep asking, guys, if evolution is true, how do you tell right from wrong on any topic?
Irrelevant. It is fundamentally irrelevant to the principles of biological evolution. But you want to equate everything into some sort of worldview affair, and it's just so fucking absurd. You can't compartmentalize any aspects of reality. Everything's got to be all together.
Is abortion right or wrong? Is murder right or wrong? Is theft right or wrong? Well, if evolution is true, how do you tell what's right or wrong? Where do you get your standards from? It's the foundation for humanism. I'll talk about that for a minute. Humanism, the idea that man is God. We are it.
Yet again, Kent, another just outright lie. That's all you have are lies. That's all you ever do is lie. Sometimes it's actually true what Aaron Ross says is that you can say more lies in a sentence than there are words in that sentence. It truly feels that way.
Atheist is a person that does not believe in God. Keep gods out of our government, the American atheist. Okay. An agnostic is a person that does not care if there's a God. Going to hell and proud. We'll see about that. A humanist is a person who believes man is God. The Bible says they did not like to retain.
Ah, good. They said the audio went out again after a point, and it did. Very good. So we could talk amongst ourselves for a while 0645 2017 keeps on going. Yeah, I do know about that too, being Christians think the snake was Satan because Revelation calls him the original serpent. A god or gods. Can't not just a god. Well, Kent's only understanding of the universe is that Christianity is a thing. The other stuff just makes no sense to him. Like, the man does not even remotely understand other religions worth a damn. Branches of Christianity and offshoots he has a better understanding of, but when he gets into anything outside of anything Abrahamic based, he has no clue about any of it at all. And I know we all know that, but humanism does not say man is God. It says humans can do better for all. Exactly.
Make the rules. We establish the parameters of reality.
He's back. Who the fuck buys DVDs anymore? I mean, I'll buy used ones. But, that's if it's something I want. Okay, we got a flat earther in the chat. Everyone point and laugh. Ken evolves from one wife to another. It's like that dude calls in and he was like, yeah, I've seen a convicted felon evolve into a wife beater. It was like, burn. That was a great moment. Props to that dude who's called in repeatedly. He keeps on making accounts and calls into Kent's open mics. I recognize the voice. It's just funny. He keeps on giving Kent shit. And they keep letting him on because they're too stupid to know. Oh, it's glorious.
We create the world, and because we do, we no longer feel beholden to outside forces. We no longer have to justify our behavior, for we are now.
The only good Ken Hovind's DVDs are the only thing they're good for is throwing in the microwave, rigging up a camera, do some really high speed filming with it, throw it in a microwave, get that shit perfectly lined up, and just fire away, and just watch the artwork get made, and then sell that stock footage for whatever you can get for it, because it'll look pretty cool if you do it right. That's what Ken Hovind's DVDs are worth. That's the only value they have. As a tool to be microwaved and film the effects. Because it does look cool if you throw like a optical disc in the microwave. That reflective lining sparks pretty good. Don't do that. But if you were to, you would get interesting results.
The architects of the universe. We are responsible to nothing outside ourselves. So we are the kingdom and the power and the glory forever.
Well, given that Zach here has brought up Emperor Palpatine's "Do It" line, do it.
And ever. Boy, Jeremy, you're in for a rude awakening when you face God. Richard Lewontin said, we take the side of science in spite of the patent absurdity of some of its constructs. We have a prior commitment, a commitment to materialism. There can't be a God involved. We do not allow a divine foot in the door. Okay, we'll see how that works out. So if evolution is true, who owns the world?
Irrelevant.
Who makes the rules? How do we decide right
Irrelevant.
or wrong? If man is God, it's what humanism means, that then the strongest make the rules. Might makes right. There's no absolute standard.
Not at all.
I was in a debate with a guy one time. He said there are no absolute.
This clown. Just no, Kent. No. You're just categorically wrong. And any shred of research into the concepts of secular humanism will show you how wrong you are. But all you do is lie. So, I mean, what else do I expect? Really? What do any of us expect from this man? Except lie upon lie upon lie. And you wonder why you're down 4 wives now, Kent. And yes, we're going to rub that in. We're going to constantly bring that up. Because you deserve to be made as miserable as possible before the inevitable happens. Makes us feel good. And that's pretty horrible that you're that despicable of a human being that us making you miserable makes us feel good. It shouldn't be that way, but it is. And I think that's nature trying to heal from the mistake that is your existence.
I said, are you absolutely sure? Blew his little brain for a minute there. Where is the standard for right and wrong? Who decides? Okay. During the Civil War, one man decided he did not want to get involved. So he put on a Yankee coat and rebel pants. I'm not involved. After the battle, he was found dead. Yankee coat full of rebel bullet holes and his rebel pants full of Yankee bullet holes. Here's the problem. We're in the center of a battlefield, whether you like it or not. It's the greatest war in history, the battle between God and Satan.
Yeah, can't those two just duke it out themselves in whatever magic dimension they hang out in and fart and whack each other off or whatever the hell they do all the time? I don't know. Aren't they like roommates or something? I mean, seriously, this entire concept is just so ridiculous. Oh yeah, there's some magic war going on between some infinitely powerful thing and some angel that fell but suddenly magically has equivalent powers and is somehow stopping things or causing bad things to happen that the deity can totally stop, doesn't interact with, because yes, that would violate free will that we don't actually have, but we do have, because the deity knows everything we're going to do, yet simultaneously doesn't. So we still make the choices, but they know what choices we're going to make. And it just, the whole thing is so fucking ridiculous. And it's because y'all have had to tack on and tack on excuses to the point where everything contradicts everything else. It could be seen as a beautiful catastrophe if it wasn't for the fact that people actually believe this shit.
Henry Morris did a great book on this, The Long War Against God. Just pick a side, get on it, okay? Christians have the incredible advantage. I read the last chapter. We win. You can read it for yourself.
Kent, if everything was so cut and dry obvious in your theology, why would anyone even remotely debate being somehow with any kind of opposition? Because your perspective requires that that's the only thing, is that all of us just want to hang out with Satan. As if understanding if the theology is true, then it's already spelled out what will happen. That knowing how the movie ends, that we're not going to change the actions we take. I mean, what the hell kind of logic is that? Like, seriously, this has been a problem with primarily Christianity in my experience, but I'm sure other religions might have, or other variants of some religions might have this thing, is that because of the way everything's been tacked on, you constantly have this kind of stuff. It's like, well, wait a minute. When you think about this, it just makes no sense from a fundamental standpoint. Forget the mythology. Just the very logic of what you're accusing people of is like, seriously? I just don't understand how somebody can say this shit with a straight face, I guess.
Yourself. Read the book of Revelation. It's only 22 chapters. So get my video number, my college classes, CSE 103. We cover much more on that topic on drdino.com. Okay. Evolution is the foundation philosophy for racism. Now, Alex said this.
No, Kent. Racism existed long before evolution and long before any concepts of humanism or anything of the sort. And notice that he is doing absolutely nothing on Alex. He has pretty much stopped showing any of anyone's video work at all anymore. Probably because he's realized that the opposition has gotten so good at things that he can't, without exposing his minions to the kind of wrong think and wrong speak that Mr. 1984 here just simply can't have.
Business of Christianity or atheism causing more wars is not correct. Alex, I'm going to correct you on that. If I had time, I'd do all 46 minutes of your speech. Racism. Darwin's book right here on the shelf, The Origin of Species. Is that really the title? Oh, it's not the whole title. His book came out 1859, The Theory of Evolution.
Hey, Stacy.
And came out long before that. This book was to justify the racism already to justify racism already being practiced. Slavery in America, things like that. They may be classed as different species, but they're still the same kind. You guys don't get it. There are no changes outside of the kind. None. Darwin's book, Origin of Species by Means of Natural Selection. Oh, whoa, whoa, whoa. They don't give the whole title. Here's the whole title right here. The origin of species by means of natural selection or the preservation of favored races in the struggle for life. Charles Darwin, 1859. Let's see. By means of natural selection, the preservation of favored races in the struggle for life. Darwin.
Yeah, Kent, no one denies what the title of the book is. You're constantly corrected on this, as you are with everything, and that races in that context implied a concept akin to how we define species. It in no way, shape, or form was meant to be the usage of the word race in the same idea as ethnic backgrounds in Homo sapien.
Darwin thought natives were just advanced animals.
We're all animals. Kent, define animal and you define human. And yes, I'm being fucking pedantic here. just being like, what's the scientific definition? When that's not why is being said here. But regardless, just have you got anything fresh? Are you going to actually address anything from our friend Alex here? Or are you just going to run your bullshit? Because I was expecting more. I was expecting something unhinged. Oh, wait, I forgot. That's coming.
I mean, like inferior species, okay? We battle to put out fires of racism, yet fail to see their fundamental cause. It's evolution theory. We mourn precious lives taken in abortion clinics, but we don't see the underlying philosophy behind it. Alex, evolution is the philosophy that justifies abortion. You talk about killing more.
Context means nothing to Kent. A nuance means nothing to Kent. Any kind of subtlety in the world means absolutely nothing. Kent is as subtle as an atomic bomb, but nowhere near as awesome.
More lives than anything else. It's your dumb evolution religion. We cry as American servicemen come home with flag-draped coffins, and we don't understand the thought process of the madmen whom they were sent.
Ooh, I gotta read this one from Nubifire. Breaking news. Man from 1800s uses word race differently than modern society. Film at 11. Oh, Stacy pops up. Hey, my lovely homie, thanks for the gift. Hey, AJ. I thoroughly enjoyed it and feel special. Yeah, I texted AJ a video clip of my goofy self sitting right here where I am, just saying hey, updating them on a bit of stuff, and it's nice, which means they have seen the face of Yamato. I'm such an enigmatic creature, even though I'm out there on the web. You can find me if you know the magic words to search for. Yes.
To fight against. Darwin said, at some future period, not very distant as measured by centuries, the civilized races of man will almost certainly exterminate and replace.
Oh yeah, and there was that. I did take a secret trip to Texas and come back very quickly. No, that never happened.
Savage races throughout the world. Thus, from the war of nature and famine and death, the most exalted object we're capable of conceiving, the production of higher animals. Who's a higher animal?
Mr. Nuts, comma D's, you are the higher animal. D's nuts are the higher animal. I just wanted to work a D's nuts joke in there. I don't know why. Some days it just makes me laugh more than normal.
Charlie, who is that? Oh, it's the blonde-haired, blue-eyed. Yeah, okay. Negroes for sale. See, in 1859...
Whoa, Kent, you can't say that word. And this is what I was getting at when I started this whole thing, beyond the fact that, they could just maximize his window here so all this shit isn't around the background. But that Kent decides, okay, how far will I go in my slander of a basic scientific concept? I know, I'm going to bring up genocide, sociopolitical issues, and the fucking slave trade. Because why not? Even though slavery existed well before Origin of Species, I'm still going to bring it up. Because of course he is. Because Kent has to poison the well for every concept possible. Except Magic Sky Daddy and his oh-so-beloved Hovind theory.
Was slavery in America and other countries. There still is slavery in a lot of countries. Darwin's book.
Kent talking about the prison system, which I can't totally disagree with him with, but he thinks the white-collar prison bullshit he went through was slavery.
Came out. Henry Fairfield Osborn, the curator at the American Museum of Natural History, said the standard of intelligence of the average adult Negro is similar to that of the 11-year-old youth of the species Homo sapien. What's he saying here? Black skin.
And they're wrong and he's an asshole? What's your point, Kent? Something, that doesn't get to come up because Kent's interactions are always one-sided or at most like one-on-one, is that, and this does occasionally come up in debates. I know AJ's called him out on this sometimes when he'll cite random quotes and it's like, so that person was wrong, that person was an asshole, it's like, what does this matter? That is not how like any of us feel. I'm pretty sure that's not how any of us feel. That has nothing to do with the current scientific consensus on evolution. That's just some racist fuck being a racist fuck. And I don't even know when this is. Anyone will fill me in on when this Henry Fairfield Osborne lived? Let me know. Because yeah, I mean, it doesn't matter if it was 2 weeks ago or 200 years ago. Still fucking wrong. He's still a fucking idiot. And that's just all there is to it. So quoting him means fuck all.
And people are dumb. That's what he's saying. Biological arguments for racism might have been common before 1850, but they increased by orders of magnitude following the acceptance of evolutionary theory. Thomas Huxley, who promoted Darwin's book when it came out, Darwin wrote his book and kind of went and hid. Huxley really went out there and pushed it. No rational man, cognizant of the facts, believes that the average Negro is equal, still less to superior, of the white man. The black people of all...
Yeah, quoting people from the 1860s, 1870s. Okay, Kent, you're going 150 plus years ago for your quotes. Find me a respected scientist today who says anything like that. They won't. Because society has, for the most part, thankfully, moved on past such idiocy. You, however, seem to look at these things as, Cliff's notes, as little study guides, little primers for how to act. Because some of the shit you'll say on your own accord makes you think.
Australia, exactly the same race as the African Negro, cannot take in the gospel. All attempts to bring them to a knowledge of the true God have as yet failed utterly. Poor brutes in human shape, they must perish off the face of the earth like brute beasts. Charles Kingsley was an Anglican priest who promoted Darwin in Darwin's book. In 1860, the year after Darwin's book came out, Kingsley wrote a letter to his wife. He was visiting Ireland with a potato.
G. Kirby here brings up the word ningen, Japanese for human. So, the anime Death Note, if you watch the second half of the series, opening by Maximum the Hormone, what's up, people? There is a line in it that made it to US TV, fully uncensored, because the song's in Japanese, but one little part of it is English. The line, hey, hey, ningen fucker, is in the song. Straight broadcast on Adult Swim back in the day. No censorship, no nothing. Just in the opening. It was pretty great because I was like, ha ha ha, they got away with it. Also funny, I didn't think I'd like Death Note. And then I watched the first episode and I was like, oh shit, this is awesome. I always joke that it was the last anime I'd ever like. And it actually kind of wound up being. Hadn't really found much I enjoyed since then, but that's another discussion for another time.
Potato famine had just killed 1 million people in a country of 8 million. He said, I'm haunted by the human chimpanzees I saw along the 100 miles of horrible country. To see white chimpanzees is dreadful. If they were black, one would not feel it so much. But their skins, except where tanned by exposure, are as white as ours. Talk about a...
Wow, Braden popping in with another $13.99 Canadian. He was 1857 to 1935. Yes, he was an archaeologist, but was also big into eugenics. And I feel one had a bigger role in him being racist than the other. Yeah. So, forgot the name of the dude, but Braden looked it up, made sure it was a super chat. Thank you so very much for ensuring that information made it into the video and I did not miss it. The dude was from the stupid ages. And notice the years he lived, the tail end of them follow very close to a big resurgence in certain types of racism. Coincidence? Kind of. But, he's one specimen from the aggregate of upper society in that era. And we see how things went for that period and historically what the records show. So, yeah.
A racist. This is Kingsley. Bruce McConkie, the Mormon Church. You should see their doctrine on Negroes. He said, Negroes in this life are denied the priesthood. Under no circumstances can they hold this
No, it was all about states' rights, though. States' rights. You know, right to own slaves. States' rights.
delegation of authority from the Almighty. They are not equal with other races. It's the Lord's doing. It's based on his eternal laws of justice and grows out of the lack of spiritual valiance of those concerned in their first estate. Wait. What's he talking about here? Their first estate, spiritual valiance? I don't know if you know this, but the Mormon church teaches that God up.
So, taking a break from Hovind's BS, um, anime has kind of been ruined for me by the geek community in Memphis. They are such privileged little fuckers. I couldn't deal with them, with the community, to a point where it ruined stuff that I absolutely loved as a teen and young adult. It is incredible how these people were and are. And I'm just like, I'm out, and separated myself as far as I could away from them. Now, does that mean I can't just watch some anime or whatever? No, of course I can, whenever I want. But I haven't had much interest in anything, and the online community isn't any less toxic. So it's kind of like I have to tread carefully, and honestly, nothing's caught my attention. But that doesn't mean I won't find something I enjoy. It just has to be the right thing. I've grown and changed as a person, so it becomes complicated. Like, I haven't watched Death Note in easily 10 plus years. I don't think I've watched much of anything in several years, easy. Even old stuff I've wanted to catch up on, I just don't have it in me anymore. So I guess it's just me growing older. Kind of sucks, but what are you going to do, you know?
In heaven has thousands of wives, and he has normal sexual relations with those wives to produce spirit babies. And if the spirit babies are good up in heaven, when they sent down to earth to get into the human body, they get a white-skinned body. But if they're a bad spirit baby, they get a dark-skinned body. See, the human couple on earth only produces the body. God in heaven, with his thousands of wives, produces the spirit. I was talking to a Mormon one time, and I said, guys, there are, 8 babies born per second in the world right now? And your God supplies a spirit for each one in the same way they get them down here? What kind of vitamins does he take anyway? This is
Remember, this is supposed to be a good, godly man, a preacher, making jokes like that. It's kind of incredible that if I needed to be, I could be infinitely more proper, mature, adult, refined, conservative, any phrasing you want to use for polite society behavior. When Kent cannot even do that in his own little streams, which are supposed to be sermons. This technically is a sermon to him. And you wonder why we do this, Kent.
this is so stupid. That's what the Mormons believe. I did a series on why I'm not a Mormon a couple of months ago, 6 months ago. Mormon Church. If there's a broad sense, caste systems have their root and origin in the gospel. When they operate according to the divine decree.
Hi, Moss Eater, and bye, Moss Eater. Glad to see you for the moment you were here. Oh, love my audience. Did I mention that so far this stream? Y'all are awesome.
Resultant restrictions and segregation are right and proper and have the approval of the Lord. So God likes this segregation. He said Cain, Ham, and the whole Negro race have been cursed with a black skin, the mark of Cain.
Yeah, exactly, because he'll just roll with this stuff. And I mean, we're not the most mature bunch here, but these streams are for fun. This is comedy. I'm providing entertainment. I don't understand how it's entertaining, but apparently y'all like it, so I'm here. We're just whacking Hovind. But again, he's supposed to be trying to teach a message, and all the message I hear is something something boomer, something something sexual innuendo, something something people are mean to me, something something evolution, Hitler, evil, Stalin, blah blah blah, psalms. That's all I hear. That's all Kent is. All Kent has. All Kent does. This is his life. That's the thing. He wants to give us crap for having channels devoted to him. When our friend Billy here, in one of his videos, had described Kent as a lol cow and explained that that's how YouTube channels work, that people will sometimes just straight focus on a particular person, a particular subject, a particular thing. Not like we don't know that, but Kent doesn't seem to understand that, because of course he doesn't. And Kent thinks this is all we do, when it's like, no, we're just having fun here. I end this, I'll check statistics like a OCD nut job, but I don't really care what happens after this with the video. I don't care what Kent's doing until the next time I feel like I'm going to check out what this clown's doing because he's a lolcow. Kent has his goons following us, hunting for what we have to say all the time, watching our video, sending them dislikes, leaving stupid comments, forwarding it to him like, hey, this person made another video about you. And it's like, dude, this is all you do every day is make more slides, pick more people to talk about evolution, ramble on. This is your entire life, and it's pathetic. But, we play video games, so we're the dumb one. I don't know where I was going with this. I'm just ranting. Y'all seem to love my rants. Let's continue.
That is pure stupidity, evil. Mormon apostle said, if there's one drop of Negro blood in my children, as I have read to you, they receive the curse. Shall I tell you the law of God in regard to...
Oh, yeah, certainly. Kent is never going to be correct on anything when it comes to other religions. Slightly more accurate when depending on the branch of Christianity, but the further away you get or the more eccentric you get in things, the worse off his understanding is going to be. I mean, the only theology he actually understands worth a damn is the one he made up. He calls himself Independent Fundamental Baptist or whatever, but he made his own religion.
To the African race, bring them young, bring them, yeah, bring them. Okay. If the white man who belongs to the...
Yeah, Kent, you make a joke like that when you've had PDF files at your compound, welcomed them to your compound, defended them. I must once again bring up Billy's amazing videos on video on the Chris Jones situation and the like. That was a recent rewatch, and oof, made me really uncomfortable in the way that I learned something and I felt something. Billy does good work, is what I'm saying. And when he does good work, the scumminess of Kent Hovind and his cohorts comes through. That's where I'm going with stuff. I always got to clarify these things. I know y'all understand, but it's like I feel like I have to say it. So yeah, you're gonna make jokes like that, Kent. Should watch the company you keep. That's all I'm getting at.
The chosen seed mixes his blood with the seed of Cain. The penalty under the law of God is death on the spot. This will always be so. Great books for Mormons if you really want to know the truth. Secret history, go to UTLM, Utah Lighthouse Mission.org. They got a bunch of stuff to help you Mormons get out of that cult you're in.
Mormons believe Cain is Bigfoot? That's kind of cool. I mean, it's weird, but in that, like, okay, that's cool way.
HMS Brooke, allowed to carry 454 slaves. But this diagram shows how she carried 451. On one voyage, she carried 609 before...
Yeah, that's a critical point. If it wasn't for these channels, Kent would have nobody watching him except like 30 people. He doesn't understand engagement in relation to attention. Yep. I mean, he's not wrong when he's like, oh, you're helping get my message out. It's like, yeah, but not in the way you think. What we're getting is people seeing how much of a scumbag you are, how wrong you are, how much you manipulate. I mean, let's look at it from the perspective of people who are faithful, how much he manipulates, distorts, and uses religion and faith for his own ends, to control others, to attack others. He doesn't care about God, about Jesus, about any of those, I'd say characters, but those entities that truly exist to him. All he cares about is himself. He wants to be the man in charge. That's simple. Which is pretty damn sickening when I, as an atheist, as an anti-theist, am actually wanting to defend religion from him. That's pretty fucked up. But maybe there's that little part of me that still values other people's deeply held beliefs insofar as they don't cause damage. I may not agree with it. I may have some opinions of it that if I say them in the way I sometimes want to could be considered really rude or possibly upset someone, but I don't do that to my friends because I care about them. I don't care about Kent. So I'll, you know, be how I am about it. But I'll still defend religion from him because he's honestly a bigger threat to what good can be found in religion than any atheist who, crazy, angry atheist who just wants to destroy religion could be. I don't know. I don't know where I'm going with this. I don't know where I'm going with any of these rants. Let's just keep going.
Before the law was passed. 20% died on every trip. That's just figured, cargo loss. They loose packed them to maximize profits and minimize slave loss. They sold them on the marketplace. Some leaders taught that the Aborigines in Australia were not as evolved as the white man. They said Aborigines have bigger jawbones. That's evidence they evolved from a monkey or an ape. Some leaders taught they were not as evolved. They used to shoot the Aborigines just to collect their skulls and jawbones for display.
Yeah, that's another thing, Stand for Truth likes games. Other people have called into Kent's thing and been like, "Oh yeah, I'm a gamer. I do this, I do that," or something, or like they'll visit, and when they ask what the hobbies are, it'll be something that Kent just looks at it like, and you can see he's thinking in his head like, "You clown, why do you like this stuff?" It's like he doesn't. Kent does not understand people can have hobbies and interests outside of religion, outside of their faith. I mean, isn't that what the deity would want you to do? Like, dead serious. Aren't you actually supposed to enjoy life? Isn't that kind of a point? But, as far as Kent goes, you're supposed to worship him being Kent.
In museums. Ernst Haeckel, famous atheist back in the 1800s, the mental life of savages rises little above that of higher mammals, especially the apes, with which they are genetically connected. The lower races, like the Vedas and Australian Negroes, are psychologically.
Autocorrect was invented by the printer companies to ensure that all of our technology will betray us. Once people stopped printing as much stuff, they decided we're going to set up an autocorrect system, and it's going to help people because no one can type. But it's also going to make sure every word you say is corrected to whatever it thinks you're saying. So yeah, it was invented by the printer companies. Guarantee it.
Logically nearer to mammals, apes or dogs, than to civilized Europeans. We must therefore assign a totally different value to their lives.
That's not of as much value as people think it is. IP addresses. Stuff can be gleaned if you have access to the right data, but that implies that you have access to the right data. That doesn't get you very far.
Alex,
Without it.
Evolution is responsible for the slaughter of a whole bunch of Aborigines in Australia. At the beginning of the settlement, there were
I concur with that theory.
300,000 Aborigines all over Australia. Aborigines were viewed by the settlers as primitive, savage, and unchanging. In addition to warfare killings, water, flour, and sugar were poisoned, and diseases were introduced to cut down the population. Aboriginal destruction was reasoned to be natural law, as shown in this comment from a settler. Nothing can stay the dying away of the Aborigine race. The providence has only allowed to hold the land until replaced by a finer race. Upwards of 20,000 to 25,000 Aborigines were killed prior to 1930. Of the 250 languages present before 1788, now only about 20 or 30 are still spoken. In Tasmania, an island off the coast of Australia, martial law was declared to solve the black problem, and every single native inhabitant was slaughtered.
Boy, he's really focusing on this. Like, he really seems to be into this subject.
Why? Because of the stupid evolution theory. That's why. Racism in Australia.
Nope, because they were just plain fucking racist. And you know what happens when people have preconceived biases, Kent? You know exactly what happens. They will look for anything they can to support what they think. So when evolutionary theory started popping up, people took it and ran with it as an excuse to justify being pieces of shit. Sound familiar, Kent? You're kind of doing the same thing with, a different point of view on some stuff. Look in the mirror. If it didn't break the moment you smiled at it.
Yeah, right here. New South Wales missionary, I'll blow it up for you, was a horrified witness to the slaughter by mounted police of a group of dozens of Aboriginal men, women, and children. 45 heads were boiled down and the best 10 skulls packed off for overseas. Smithsonian has 33,000 human remains right now. Why? To prove evolution. Galton, Darwin's cousin, started the eugenics movement in America. Let's purify the race, get rid of the inferiors. Okay. Edward Conklin.
Yeah, they have no way to get a hold of IP addresses. This is fucking Restream, unless there's a ban function in there that does an IP ban, and even in which case, again, it doesn't actually fucking matter. What are they going to do? Report them to the ISP? They were mean to me. Get over it. ISPs don't give a shit.
Professor of biology at Princeton said every consideration should lead those who believe in the superiority of the white race to strive to preserve its purity and to
Oh, don't worry. I'm born in the same month as well. Birthday's at the end of the month. Plan accordingly for a party on the 31st. Just saying.
establish and maintain the segregation of the races. For the longer this is maintained, the greater the preponderance of the white race will be. Let's see. Edwin, I have never met a white man. Neither have you. I'll show you.
Oh, here we go. Here we go. He's gonna do his abstraction of color. Oh no. Watch out, Kent's gonna bring the master logic here. Oops. I shouldn't have said the master logic. That sounds a little well, Kent does think he's superior in a lot of ways. He always loves to talk about being the blonde hair, blue eyed in the region. Seems to be really proud of that.
Here. This is white. I am not white. I have never met a black man. This is black. We're all shades of brown. Okay? There's no such thing as a white man or a black man. Knock it off. 1912, New York Times became the champion of the eugenics cause, calling it a wonderful new science.
Yes, because the nightmare that is eugenics was pretty popular in the early 20th century. It's a pretty fucked up time. History's had a lot of fucked up times. We've gotten better since then. At least I'd like to hope we have.
They had the eugenics tree of human evolution, eugenicsarchive.org. Yeah, where's the best? Let's see. Carnegie Institute got involved in this. Discover Magazine. In time, these ideas gave rise to American laws that empower doctors to sterilize people that they judge to be unfit to pass on their genes. 60,000 people were sterilized in the United States over the course of the 20th century because they were inferior. This happened with the Native American Indians. Unnatural selection. American scientists played a key role in the shameful history of eugenics. He said, I have studied with great interest the laws of several American states concerning the prevention of reproduction by people whose progeny would, in all probability, be of no value.
Now, two things I want to bring up is, one, he has played none of the content from this Alex O'Connor person, and anyone popping in on this randomly would somehow think that Alex O'Connor in any way, shape, or form has promoted, supported, or otherwise given a kind of approval to anything remotely related to these concepts. And secondly, imagine you're a typical Christian, very faithful person looking for something new in the religious sphere, and you see, oh, this Dr. Kent Hovind in Genesis Baptist Church is live last night, and you come in and you hear him talking about this.
Or be injurious to the racial stock. That was Hitler talking to a friend of his. I studied American laws.
What would you do? I guarantee you'd immediately click right the fuck out from that. But to Kent, it's just a normal Wednesday.
See what we should do. 1904 World's Fair, I think it was in St. Louis. They put 2,000 primitive people on display to show how they're inferior because of evolution. Okay, the white Americans had evolved further. 1904 St. Louis World's Fair. They had a pygmy from Africa put on display, along with chimpanzees, to show how they're inferior species. Ota Benga was his name. Google that, okay? Madison Grant, a prominent American lawyer, was a staunch supporter of this stupid eugenics movement. Let's see. He was a member of the International...
He loves to just waffle on about nothing constantly. This is incredible. You know, I'm going to be honest. I seriously do believe Kent has a case of the tism. Between the particular nuances he has, those ticks in the way he has to say the same certain phrases constantly and likes to ramble on about nothing that no one else cares about for, if he was given the chance, hours on end, I am pretty certain he's on the spectrum somewhere. For whatever value that has as something to bring up. Certain I'm on the spectrum somewhere. My best friend's definitely on the spectrum. Hell, who isn't? I'm not saying it is a bad thing. I'm just saying there's got to be something fundamentally like that triggering all of this obsessive behavior he has, because it clearly is an obsessive compulsive issue. Again, can't diagnose these things because everyone's got to clarify, well, you're not a doctor. And it's like, but he seems to have to do these certain things, say them these certain ways. And it can't just be it's not a normal behavior. It just isn't. There has to be some pretty standard quirk in there driving this. That's why I really wish you could actually get somebody to watch his content, a professional, and do some analysis on this stuff. And people say, well, they can't analyze them without actually being there. It's like, no, you totally can, because people can go back and watch. I'm sorry to break Godwin's law, but watch film and stuff of our favorite failed Austrian painter, and can do analysis on that. So the same thing could apply. But that's, again, just me thinking out loud. Hopefully not too far. If it is, apologize. Let's keep going.
Committee of Eugenics. In 1916, Grant wrote a famous book called The Passing of the Great Race. I've got it on the shelf here somewhere. He classified humans into distinct racial groups, which he then ranked in terms of their evolutionary development. So, Alex, pay attention. Your theory.
Another $6.99 Canadian from our friend Braden. Notice all his examples are from nearly 100 plus years ago. Exactly. Everything is from forever ago. No one who was around then is alive now. So it's all kind of irrelevant. Just care what people think now. And also, he has in no way, shape, or form been able to explicitly state that these people, show that these people have these beliefs they have specifically because of evolutionary theory. It's non sequitur, Kent.
Your religion is doing great damage to the human race, okay? Teddy Roosevelt said, it's not just a coincidence that Teddy Roosevelt was president during a few of these influential years. Roosevelt and Grant were close friends and big game hunting partners. Roosevelt hated Native Americans and openly stated his belief that they were...
Yeah, he is. Remember, we're the racists.
Were not human, only animals. He said, I don't go so far as to think that the only good Indians are dead Indians, but I believe 9 out of 10 are, and I shouldn't like to inquire too closely into the case of the 10th. This is the president.
Kent, you want to talk about presidents and controversial statements, them being racist. Presidents, you're holding them to a standard all of a sudden. You really want to make that point. You really want to stand on that ground. Because, do I need to say it? We all know Kent's political leanings. We all know his opinions of a certain person who's going to be president again on the 20th. But he wants to hold Teddy Roosevelt to a standard, but not that clown who's alive now when Roosevelt died like a century ago. Come on, Kent. Get with the times, old man.
10th grade biology
And get some fucking standards, you prick.
book He said, I wish very much the wrong people could be prevented entirely from breeding. That was made by American President Theodore Roosevelt. He thought that many immigrants from Europe, Scotland, Ireland, and the Orient were a threat to American society. In 1871, Congress scrapped all treaties with the Indians and moved them to the reservation system still in use today. We're in the middle of it here in lower Alabama with what happened to the Indians, forcing them off their land. Okay? The Seminoles, the Choctaws, the Cherokees, the Choctaws, they were all forced to move to Oklahoma because they were the wrong race. The town of Ross's Landing was renamed Chattanooga so they would forget what happened there in Chattanooga. Forced them out of their land, even though Sam Houston lived with them and had a Cherokee wife. In 1838, Cherokees were forced from their homes and their city, Ross's Landing, and renamed Chattanooga. I remember as a kid, 1950s, this is still going on a little bit. The colored...
A little bit. You know who worked to put an end to this BS, Kent? You want to know which side of the political spectrum? Well, it gets nuanced because of the shift in standards, and there's a big shift in the '60s in between Democrat and Republican constructs in their words. I'm having a hard time with it. Right, because it's politics, and I hate discussing politics. There was a platform shift. But what it boils down to is generally progressive and what would be known today as left-leaning people were responsible for desegregation, for integration, for this progress. Hence them being progressive. It's kind of the term used for a reason. Were you an adult at that time, you would have been completely against this stuff, full force. Because you don't admit it, but you're against it now. Unless it benefits you, of course. Just pick a different demographic to be vocal about it with. But still the same racism. Still the same arbitrary hatred. Because that's all you've got, Kent, is hate.
Bathrooms, colored drinking fountains. Well, if you're colored, you get this little fountain. If you're white, you get a real one. The Ku Klux Klan was very big and still has members in that stupid organization. They would beat them to death sometimes for daring to sit in the wrong seat. The Bible says, have we not all one Father? Why do we deal treacherously, every man against his brother? We're made of one blood. Look, there's only one race called the human race. Darwin thought women were inferior. He said a married man would be a poor slave, worse than a Negro. Okay, we could talk all day about this one. Let's see.
Yeah, I'm sure you could, Kent. I'm sure you could.
Here's Darwin's other book, The Descent of Man, that he wrote. Man has ultimately become superior to women in poetry, strength, voice, etc. Darwin believed in inbreeding. He married his maternal father's granddaughter, who was...
Kent, you want to talk about inbreeding? Really want to talk about inbreeding? I always love that descriptor for Ken Ham's Ark encounter, incest and genocide park. But you want to complain about inbreeding, Kent. And no, before someone puts words in my mouth, I'm not approving of such. Very icky. Very icky concept. Very horrible. Genetics doesn't work that way. But, Kent's magic book condones it quite well. So.
Also his mother's niece to produce a superior stock. They had 10 children. Mary died shortly after birth and died at age 10. Robert was born...
God damn. I'm glad I'm getting paid for this one, because if I ain't demonetized already, this is going to be it. So thank you for the $6.99 super chat, Rogue Rainbow. $6.99 Canadian, but nonetheless, those are shekels I will accept. I'm willing to bet money that the smartest part of Kent slid down his mother's legs. Oh my God, that is so fucking disgusting. Love it. This is unhinged. Kent or my stream? I know the answer is both. That's what I said in his own stream, though. We're past the point where I had caught it live, and I had left the comment, "This is unhinged," and people were like, "He's just reading what the book says," and it's like, but he's doing this for his stream, for his sermon. It's insanity.
Born retarded, died at 19 months. Henrietta had a serious breakdown, age 15. 3 of his 6 sons were so ill so often, Charles regarded them as semi-invalids. So much for inbreeding, huh, Charlie? There we go. Evolution is the foundation, root philosophy for Nazism. Now,
No, it isn't, Kent. I don't know how many times I have to say this, but I feel like I have to address it every time you bring it up. They rejected evolutionary theory. Save again with the qualifier for they seem to accept it when it came to medicinal constructs. Take that what you will. But other stuff, no.
Alex, you said the wars are caused by religions. You didn't mention the Bible, but current religions have caused wars. But the evolution theory tops the list. Nazism, foundation for Nazism.
Remember, Archduke Franz Ferdinand was shot because evolution. Hitler invaded Poland because evolution. Japan attacked China because evolution. They attacked Pearl Harbor because evolution. All this is evolution. It's not the same reason every war happens. Demand for control, for dominance, simply wanting what another nation has, wanting to secure more power for themselves, wanting to expand living space, wanting to eliminate someone that you just find inferior because of pre-built racism and ethnic disparage, ethnic, well, just on ethnic differences. There was a word I was looking for. I'm too damn tired today. Um, but hating people on those grounds that have been around for centuries or millennia in some cases. Those don't matter, though. Those aren't the reason wars are fought. Nope, it's all evolution. It's always been evolution. It always will be.
Let's see. Mussolini, the Italian dictator, was influenced by evolution. He thought the Italians were the superior race. Mussolini.
No, he's bringing Mussolini into this. Can't you know the first fucking thing about Benito Mussolini? You just don't.
Mussolini, dictator of Italy, sent 100,000 soldiers to attack Ethiopia without declaration of war. Emperor Haile Selassie had about 500,000 men, many who were new recruits armed with primitive weapons like spears and bows. With tanks and airplanes, the Italians easily and mercilessly slaughtered the Ethiopians. Do some history searching. Mussolini and Hitler got together. Hitler thought the Germans were the superior race who deserved to rule the world.
Oh, hear that? Ken has the inside scoop that Hitler and Mussolini got together, if you know what I mean.
The German Fuhrer consistently sought to make the practice of Germany conform to the theory of evolution, Sir Arthur Keith said. If Hitler believed in anything at all, then it was the laws of evolution, which justified and sanctified his actions and especially his cruelties. If it were possible to form a state or an army exclusively of homosexuals, these men would direct all their emulations toward honors, and going into battle with such a spirit would, even if their numbers were small, conquer the world. Plato. Not 10% of the men in 1933 took the fate of Germany into their hands were sexually normal. The Bible says they became vain in their imaginations. They changed the glory of the uncorruptible God to an image, and God gave them up. Gave them up to what? To the lust of their heart, to dishonor their bodies. They worshiped and served the creature more than the creator. God gave them up to vile affections. And even their women did change the natural use into that which is against nature. And men with men, women, they burned with lust one toward another, men with men, working that which is unseemly. They did not like to retain God in their knowledge. God gave them over to a reprobate mind. Let's see. In the book is Tomorrow Hitler's. It remains characteristic of the Germans that they outwardly the most.
I was taking a moment to see if I could see that fake Sandra channel come up, but we'll see him get flustered here in a moment.
Brutally masculine of all European people are the most homosexual nation on earth. A direct line runs from Darwin through the father of the eugenics movement to the extermination camps of Nazi Germany. Let's see. Hitler said, our enemies are little worms. Close your hearts to pity. Act brutally. The stronger man is right. Madison Grant, we mentioned him, the lawyer, staunch supporter of this eugenics movement, wrote his book, 1916, The Passing of the Great Race. Hitler called that his Bible. He could identify the great race. Who's the best race? By their blonde hair or red hair and blue eyes. You get all that? Blonde hair, blue-eyed, superior.
There he goes. He really loves pointing that out.
Race, yeah, okay. He thought people that lived up in the north where it's cold had to be tougher to survive. Well, that may be true. He thought that's where the great races were. After reading Grant's book, Hitler wrote him and said, this book is my Bible. Hitler's book is full of his racist philosophies. Hitler's mind was captivated by evolutionary thinking, probably since he was a boy. Evolutionary ideas lie at the basis of all that is worst in Mein Kampf and his public speeches. Hitler said, if you want these Jews, he called them criminals, I'll send them to you on luxury ships. Hitler said, no more than nature desires the mating of weaker with stronger individuals, even less does she desire the blending of a higher with a lower race. Who's a higher race, Adolf? Let's see. Here they are right here. Nordic, blonde-haired, blue-eyed, close to pure Aryan. German, mostly Aryan. Mediterranean, slightly Aryan. Slavic, Yugoslavia, Russia, Ukraine. Half Aryan, half ape. Oriental, they're slightly ape. Black African, predominantly ape. Jewish, close to pure ape. Huh.
And he's just focusing on this, just constantly. He spent the time to set this entire thing up. This is what he devoted a day to. And this man is supposed to, 1, be some kind of genius. 2, supposed to be a good person at all. 3, is supposed to at all be doing God's work. And 4, is supposed to be sane?
Jesse Owens said, I wasn't invited to shake hands with Hitler, but I wasn't invited to the White House to shake with the president either. First, he won more gold medals, I think, in the 1930s.
Yeah, well, welcome to racism. It was bullshit. We've moved on from then, Kent. Nothing to do with evolution. Once again, as evolutionary theory was discovered by racists, they used it as an excuse to justify the already existing bigotry they had. You got cart before the horse there, buddy.
Olympics. Let's see. The Talmud, the Jewish Talmud, not the Torah, the Old Testament, the Talmud, says that non-Jews are to be exterminated. All Gentile children are animals. Even the best of the Gentiles should all be killed. Yeah. Want a great book on...
Okay, so what are you trying to say with that, Kent? What are you trying to say there? Because you're starting to sound a lot like propaganda from the best buddy of your failed Austrian painter there. This from the same guy who constantly talks about supporting Israel in the current conflict. Real piece of work there, Kent, aren't you? You're a real piece of work. I know I've said that already, but just when I think you can't slip in something worse, you manage to. And at least this met my criteria. It was a rough start, but we reached peak with that last bit. Also, you're a piece of shit, Kent.
On how the Muslim religion started, the history of the Muslim church. How much is that? We got this book here, The Prophet. Can you look up how much that is? It's a great book if you want to see how the Catholic Church got involved in starting the Nation of Islam religion. Yep.
Okay, Kent. What the fuck? Also, of Islam isn't what you think it is. Okay.
Yep. Allah commands that any person who leaves Islam or encourages others should be seized and slain. Surah 4. Surah 5. Allah told Muhammad that all those who oppose his message should be killed, or they should be nailed to a tree, or their hands and legs should be cut off. This racism stuff has its root in evolution, Alex. 1936, German Supreme Court refused to recognize Jews living in Germany as persons in the legal sense. That led the way. So you didn't kill a person, you killed a Jew. American Supreme Court did this.
We got to that stage, Rogue. At the moment, I decided that I was going to do a live stream on 06/45/2017 yet again, because I make terrible decisions in life.
The same thing, 1973. Supreme Court declared the word person in the 14th Amendment does not include the unborn, justifying abortion.
Yeah, I did catch. I didn't catch Starship burning up. I didn't even know there was a launch of that piece of shit. But New Shepard finally making its first flight. No, New Glenn. New Glenn was what did. Because Shepard, suborbital, reference to Alan Shepard, and New Glenn, John, reference to John Glenn, and our first American in orbit. Um, but yeah, it made its flight successfully. No booster recovery, but it was the first flight of the thing. I still haven't watched the launch footage. I've been too busy with work and then doing this, so I need to do that. Yeah. Jeff Bezos is still elite scum, but if I had to pick the lesser of two evils, it's Blue Origin and Jeff Bezos. Full stop.
See, that's why when Hitler killed all the Jews and did horrible things to them and starved them and baked them in ovens, and I've been over to Auschwitz and concentration camps over there when I preached.
Wow, can't even pronounce it correctly. Let's go back to that.
Starved them and baked them in ovens, and I've been over to Auschwitz and
Auschwitz. Auschwitz. The word you're looking for, Kent, if I want to pronounce it in the original Polish, is Auschwitzum, I think. Auschwitz, something like that. I know I'm putting a German accent on it inadvertently. Polish is hard. I could be completely butchering that. But is commonly known as Auschwitz. That's probably the only camp this man knows. He most certainly doesn't know jack diddly shit about Sobibor, Majdanek, Belzec, Treblinka, or some of the other places that you can hear the change in my voice from me just bringing up how I feel discussing those. I could probably devote a stream just to discussing my feelings on the Holocaust. In fact, since we're coming up on the 80th anniversary of the liberation of Auschwitz, I might do that. But especially when it comes to Treblinka, Sobibor, Belzec, the three primary death camps, where that's all they were for. But of course, this man is going to use the worst event in human history to try to make his science denial seem even more valid. You're a monster, Kent. I've said it before, I've said it again. You are one of the worst people I've ever had the misfortune of happening to share the planet with. Fuck you and everything you stand for.
Concentration camps over there when I preached in Germany. Piles of shoes, piles of dead bodies. At a rally in Nuremberg to make the individual feel small and the cause seem great. That's the same mentality the environmentalists use today. That stupid Time magazine made Hitler the Man of the Year, 1938.
Man of the Year was given to Adolf Hitler that year because it was a sardonic award given to him, because it was understood already how much the man was influencing change in the world, and they knew it wasn't for the better. It was a very, very dark statement in them doing that. It wasn't an honor. It was a warning that they saw something major was coming. And it didn't seem good.
Hitler fully understood the importance of indoctrinating the youth of Germany. Go after the kids. That's why I wrote so many books on this topic, to help your students. Help I'm reading my biology textbook, and what do I do about the evolution in there? How do we deal with evolution in the public schools? Help, I'm being taught evolution in earth science.
I did hear that way back when I watched that debate, back when it was still a fresh one. I need to go back and do the rewatch and commentary on that because it's been requested. Might as well do it because, you guys are awesome and you want me to do a video, I'll do it.
Science. Are you being brainwashed by your science book? But folks, we got a lot of good material to help your student make it through this, to unbrainwash them from the stupid evolution religion. By the way, Nazi movement is still alive today in America. A doctor.
You would know, Kent. You're probably a card-carrying member.
Man killed a doctor in Skokie, Illinois. He told the authorities he chose a plastic surgeon from the phone book and killed him because the hairdressers and people who make blue-tinted contact lenses are diluting the Aryan beauty. You gave that guy blue-tinted contact lenses? That's diluting the Aryan beauty. Can you believe that? Hitler stressed and singled out the idea of biological evolution as the most forceful weapon against traditional religion. He said, I regard Christianity as the most fatal, seductive lie that ever existed. There's a book available from Moody Bible Press, Hitler's Cross. Great book. You ought to read that, okay? Let's see. The German Confessing Church, 1934, recognized the events as ordained by God and rightly demanding obedience side by side with Scripture. We should follow Hitler. I got a ton of stuff on this. Here's a Nazi propaganda poster they used so the Christians in Germany wouldn't get offended. They put a cross above Hitler as he walked out the door. He was no more a Christian than my cat, okay?
So here we have no true Scotsman. Hitler wasn't a true Christian. It's like, well, what defines that, Kent? You have your definition. He had his. Everyone has their own. It's almost as if there's no explicit criteria beyond the accepting Christ concept and what that entails. And if failed Austrian painter decided to make those statements and identified as such, then we have to go on just the way we treat people that, okay, we have to believe him on this. It's just how it works, Kent. That's how we know your name is Kent, or why we accept your name as Kent, because we trust that it is. It was like Aaron Ross said, if someone comes up to me and tells me their name's Joe, I'm going to call him Joe. It doesn't have any reason to try to sit there and scrutinize it. But, you got to try to distance him as much as possible. And again, with this whole bipolar, you're either a Christian or you're not, Hovind.
Nazi baptism. Baptize the babies into a Nazi altar. Hitler said, if you tell a lie long enough and loud enough and often enough, the people will believe it. They're more likely to believe a big lie than a small one. You won't understand what happened in Rwanda with the slaughter there between the two tribes that fought each other, the Hutus and the Tutsis.
Yeah, evolution had fuck all to do with it. I recently listened to a detailed piece on that. Not a bit. Not a bit. But Kent's going to distort history and, manipulate another absolute tragedy for his own gains.
See, people went in there and told him about superior race. So the superior race said, we're going to wipe out these inferior races. This is their own people in their own country. Let's see. Tutsis were a wealthier group.
For that, I would need a good chunk of change put directly into my PayPal account. I'm serious, too. I would need a lot to do that. But I would, if everyone can aggregate stuff together. How much? I don't know. I'll tell you when. There could be a pay-as-you-go thing, Every minute there's $1. It wouldn't be that bad. But seriously, I could do it if you really, really pushed for it. You know what true Scotsman here means? Mark, tell me. I do want to know. Wait, that's well. There's no criteria for being a Christian in the same way there's no criteria for people accepting evolution. They're all evil people who love dogs. Does that mean dogs are bad? They were Nazi Baptists. Look, for $10,000, I'd stop hating Elon Musk. If that man paid me 10,000, I'd be like, okay, I no longer hate you. I probably still deep down would, but I would lie about it because I'd get a lot done with that money. 69, Hovind. Actually, that's kind of close. I mean, if we can get to $69, I'll do a whole damn Ken Hovind seminar. Like, I don't know, like, let's be clear. If we divide up his sections into like the 2-hour chunks, that's what I'm thinking of. But if we can keep stuff going, I will react to the whole damn thing. I'll go on and do it. Make a down payment if I'm live tomorrow. All right. Given it is a Friday, I should be live for something. $1 million. I got to do the pinky. $1 million. There we go. When you don't wear anything under your kilt. Yes, that is a true Scotsman. $10 worth of Beanie Babies. That's good to do with DVDs, right? Ooh, that is a good. That is a good offer. If anyone has, I'm not even kidding. If anyone has a nice old typewriter that isn't a model I already happen to own, you might work something out. You might get a Hovind thing for a typewriter. Infamous DVD number 5. What I need is an actual explicit, like, this is DVD number 5. We all agree this is it. So, everyone's saying yes for DVD number 5. Okay. If we can get a verified source that, yes, this is DVD number 5. Because I'll find stuff that's labeled as that. I'm never sure. You guys be like, yes, we all agree this is it. I'll do it. I don't know how much, but I'll do it. Wait, that swell pops up. Wait, how many typewriters do you own? Most of them are in storage. Somewhere towards 30. I have a bit of a problem. Or had a bit of a problem. Not so much anymore. Mark, you get me those torrent links. The ones that you are basically, we're going to go by your judgment. That's what I'm going for. Someone's in the audience's judgment of like, yes, this is what you should be reacting to. We are certain this is it. Let's all donate to Biden. You can do a refund. That was one of the ideas I had. I wanted to do the whole refund deal because I wanted to put it to the test just to see. Ooh, and Nubifier is going to play some Pathfinder. Awesome. Enjoy. And they're out there. I mean, let's face it, people torrent anything. People put anything on the internet for people to download. My BBS has 100% of seminar on there. I mean, my BBS has, floor plan, like layout for the Chernobyl power plant. Why? Because I found it online, decided I'm going to put it on my BBS. It's like my standard file for testing those things.
Usually those possess 10 head of cattle or more. Tension between the two groups is nothing new. Animosity between them grew substantially after the colonization by the Germans and Belgians. The Germans and Belgians come in there and say, let these two groups fight with each other. Save our bullets. We'll tell this group, you're superior race. Go kill the other ones.
Wow, this is just a fine example of Kent butchering history completely. This is... I can't even make a joke. This is just a load of shit. You're just wrong, Kent.
You don't understand Rwanda, what happened until you get into the evolution theory. Belgian colonists arrived in 1916, saw two groups as distinct but different. Not only classified on wealth, but also their physical characteristics. And you atheists are always looking at, look at the jawbone of this ape and this fossil we found, and that's becoming a human, the physical characteristics. The taller, lighter-skinned Rwandese were considered Tutsi. Those with shorter, dark-skinned were the Hutu. Belgians considered the Tutsis superior. They possessed traits were considered more advanced by evolutionary standards. Tutsis were welcomed this idea for the next 20 years, enjoyed better jobs, educational opportunities. Resentment among the Hutus gradually built up, culminating in a series of riots in 1959. 20,000 Tutsis were killed. Many more fled to the neighboring.
And a friend Fandom X pops up during yet another unhinged and completely wrong rambling mess by 0645 2017. Just everyone picks the best times to come and go.
Countries. When Belgium relinquished power and granted Rwanda independence, the Hutus took their place. The Tutsis were portrayed as the scapegoats for every crisis after that, triggered by the death of a Rwandan president who was killed in a plane explosion. Hutu
In a plane explosion. explosion? Hovind explosion. Yeah, he's doing a whack on Alex. He showed his picture from a video and then a frame or two from a video, and then has been on what amounts to I'm not racist, but everything else is, and all wars based on evolution rant for the past 30 minutes.
militia unleashed their hatred of the Tutsis. Beginning April 1994, for the next 100 days, up to 800,000 Tutsis were killed by the Hutus. Alex, this is because of evolution religion, okay? This idea of racism.
Notice he did the article thing right there. Because of evolution religion, not because of the evolution religion, which it's not a religion, Kent. But he did the thing again. Learn to talk, Kent.
Go around and slaughter whole villages, kill them all, collect their skulls. One survivor said the Hutus would stop you, look at your fingers, your nose, and your ears to see if you were Tutsi. In July, the Tutsi rebels were able to capture Rwanda's capital and put an end to the slaughter. Get the movie Hotel Rwanda. You want to get more on that.
Or you could, read a history book, watch a video, freely available from educational channels online, on YouTube, and in other sources, proper documentaries, the Wikipedia article on it, literally any amount of actual research. This is 2025. We have modern technology, Kent. What do I expect, though? Kent's the kind of guy who's like, I'm going to take a movie, and that's got to be history. It's got to be history. Charlton Heston and the Ten Commandments was a documentary filmed on location.
The Japanese taught their people that they had evolved further and were superior to all other races. Japanese scientists produced studies decrying the apish physical features of other races like hairiness. Oh, if you got hairy, you've got a big beard or hair on your chest. Oh, you're inferior, you're still ape. Yeah, okay. Surprise attack on Pearl Harbor had many causes, but one major underlying factor is the evolution thinking of the Japanese.
Oh yeah, and that's actually something I kind of intentionally do, is that I'll be live right about when Kent is live, or he'll go live while I'm still live. It's just funny to think about. Two of the Tutsis are quite closely related by genetics. Yeah, I mean, it's like everything, a very nuanced, very granular to study issue that is in no way, shape, or form what Kent thinks it is. And yeah, Kent apparently thinks Hotel Rwanda is a documentary. By Kent's logic, oh fuck. The Interview, that's it. The Interview is a documentary about North Korea by Kent's logic. Going on a panel and a Bible study, but we'll keep streaming live in the background to keep up the views. Thank you, Deviant. Much love.
Bataan Death March. American and British soldiers captured, treated horribly because they thought they were an inferior species.
Kent Stream not having audio half the time? Evolution. Kent Stream being stuck in this stupid window because these idiots can't click a maximize button? Evolution. Ken Hovind stroking out? Actually, it is evolution, technically speaking. Me not being able to find a comfortable position in my chair? Evolution. Guild Wars not running at 100,000 frames a second? Evolution. Everything is evolution.
Just let them die. March them till they die. Evolution is the foundation of communism. Evolution, we could go on all night. Evolution is the only philosophy that justifies.
Evolution in no way, shape, or form is the foundation of communism or the parent category of communism, socialism, Marxism, and the like. It's just not. But of course, you've been on these rants 1,000 times before. Also, it's interesting you're using these weird pink slides now. Really odd, but what do I know?
Abortion, killing babies before they're born. I was in a debate with one guy one time, and I forget who it was and how it went, but something about, I said,
yeah, Kent knows precisely fuck all about history. For he doesn't understand World War II at all. The dynamics were way different from what he thinks.
Does a woman have abortion rights up until the baby's born? Yeah.
He's going to tell this stupid story again.
So she could kill it 5 minutes before it's born. Yeah. I said, what about, should she be allowed to kill it 5 minutes after it's born? Well, no. Well, why not? Same baby. They don't get it. So, Alex, I'm sorry, we're going to quit right here, but you just don't get it. Your philosophy of evolution is dangerous. It's the dumbest religion in the world, and it's the most dangerous religion in the world. So,
not a religion. Gonna keep saying it till you croak, old man. Meets none of the criteria. Matches no definition of religion that anyone else would accept. It's just not.
that's
But DAL sure fits the criteria for cult.
Alex up here. There we go. I don't know how to make that work.
Say that again, Kent. Let's go back and appreciate him saying that.
Alex up here. There we go. I don't know how to make that work.
I don't know how to make that work. You don't know how to make anything work, Kent.
Oh, okay. So, sorry, Alex. I'll go through the rest of your points when I get time. Or come down and visit Dinosaur Adventureland. We can have a debate right here. You tell me the best evidence you have for evolution. There is none. Nobody's ever seen a cow produce a non.
Cows are female of the species, Kent. So yeah, we actually do see cows produce non-cows, and that you don't call the male of the species a cow. Zach popping up with, yeah, Kent blames evolution on both fascist and communist governments, despite those being on opposite ends of the political spectrum. Exactly.
Cow, or a cow come from a non-cow, or a dog or a cat or any other thing. The Bible says very clearly, they will bring forth after their kind. That is science.
He seems to have changed his MO a bit from the whole SpongeBob thing. I do wish Viacom would push hard against him, but it's not going to happen. They don't want a bad look situation because he's technically a preacher and it's technically a church channel and all that jazz, but still, I say they should just, go at it anyway. Does it matter if it's the most dangerous religion? If it is the truth, this is a good point. If it's reality, what does it matter? And nope, Kent did not go through any of his points whatsoever.
Nothing else. Okay?
He just wanted to focus on this one meme, which is probably explained very well in Alex's video.
No time for questions and comments tonight, brother. It's freezing. I got 14 irons in my fire, so any important comments you want to just stick up there real quick? I'll try.
I got 14 irons in my fire. What?
14 irons in my fire. So any important comments?
Ladies and gentlemen, Kent Hovind has 14 irons in his fire. So it's like an ion of iron. So irons in his fire. That's got to mean something.
You want to just stick up there real quick? I'll try a couple of them.
There's one comment I thought was interesting, Doc. It's this right here. This guy's
Hitler burned Darwin's books. Occult Nino. Would you send me the evidence for that? I'd like to see that.
Oh, glad I stuck around. Send me the evidence for that, Kent. A cursory search of anything will demonstrate this. It's a triviality to find. You're fucking lazy.
He might have. But he followed Darwin's teaching for sure.
Oh, we might have burned the books, as they burned all the other stuff they despised, but he totally followed it, but they burned it anyway. What the fuck, Kent? You just. Oh my fucking god, you idiot. Fucking idiot.
Did Hitler believe the Germans were the superior race, Nino, or Nino, whatever your name is? Of course he did. Why? Because of evolution. Now, he might have fallen out of favor with Darwin, but he still believed in evolution.
Oh fuck, it didn't even click with me that a Colt Nino's in here. Hey buddy, how you doing? It didn't click because everything's restream and I'm tired from work. It's like, hey, the very person's here who left the comment in the stream that I saw earlier. Oh god. Oh, you're a legend. Really need to get him a mic too, yeah. They need to get other people mics. Not be sending it. Yeah, don't freaking bother. There's no point in wasting any time with Kent. That's why we do things the way we do here. Oh man. Wild.
That's the whole point of tonight's message, okay?
See, right there. This is a message. Him rambling on about Hitler, Mussolini, genocide, eugenics, all that was a message. Boy, that's some wild church you got there. I think I'm going to go hang out with the snake handlers. I don't know. Summon like Beetlejuice. 1, 2, Kent is coming. 2, 3, 4, run away. 5, 6, glad you're still on. Oh, one fact check a stream. Yep. Okay. So that's the end of 0645 2017's craziness. This is the button. So see how I'm like in a window, and then if I click this one button, I get big, and then small, and then big again. They can't do that at Dinosaur Adventureland. They're too stupid to do that. So we have Kent in permanent window mode because everyone running the text streams is completely fucking incompetent. Ooh, a nice little bit from, well, ain't that swell? Can't just sit on stream. Him and Sandra are going to pick up a van in Dallas, as if anybody is believing that. A white van, maybe. Yeah, with no windows. Got the panel brand. Free candies written on the side. Hovind. Come, free Bibles. Free Jesus. Free candy for Jesus. Oh. Well, this stream's not going to be monetized, but, I'll still flick the thing just to see. Do appreciate the super chats, of course, and more importantly, everybody being here. That's the best thing of all. Screw the money. Screw even, talking shit about Hovind. It's about the chance for us to hang out and have fun. Y'all are awesome. I always appreciate you being here. You're the best. I'm going to keep saying that. Colt Nino with thanks for the stream. Have a good night. You too, my friend, and all of you. Have a good night, day, all the time. All time. Hope it goes well. Tomorrow's Friday. Let's try to enjoy it. If you have a job where you end up working over weekends and stuff, I apologize. I had done that for many, many years. I'm fortunate in my schedule that I have weekends off. So I don't want to rub it in like, oh yeah, I got weekends off and you got to deal with it. No, I empathize fully. But yeah, I'll be trying to have some fun through the through the weekend. Tomorrow, it's a promise and a threat. I'll give money for you to watch DVD number 5. All right, we'll see what happens. Good night, bro. Thank you for the content and company. No problem, Mark. Thank you. Oh, Mark, weird as it sounds, just send Scotland my love. I really want to go there at some point. Just, be like, hey, this guy in America likes you. Just in a random direction to the country. I don't know. It's an idea. Get banned for trolling Kent's stream. Good job. Workplace open 24/7. But you don't have to be there 24/7. That's the beauty of it. Calling out, he beats his wives. Good on you. Definitely call that out. Banned for I don't know how long. Yeah, I'm wondering if I'm actually banned or not at this stage. Um, and 4 p.m. to midnight on Saturdays. Ooh, rough shift, but well, not super terrible, but definitely a rough one. Oh, you guys are the best, really. I'm gonna keep saying that. Good night to you too. Good night to everyone. Bring on DVD number 5. It looks like that's something that's probably going to happen. So, yeah, I'll be following the links, downloading some stuff tonight, getting prepared for tomorrow. And we'll see how it goes. So, yeah, I'm out.